This is a CBS News special report. I'm Norah O'Donnell in New York, and we are coming on the air with breaking news with another school shooting. This time about 45 miles northeast of Atlanta in Barrow County, Georgia. Now, the local sheriff's department said a suspect is in custody, and there are reports of casualties. Police say the alleged shooting occurred at about 10:23 a.m. at Apalachee High School, which has about 1,900 students, so it is a big high school. Parents, we're told, are now allowed to go to the campus and pick up their students. Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp issued a statement saying he has directed all available state resources to respond to the incident. The FBI's Atlanta office said it has agents on the scene to help coordinate and support local law enforcement efforts. CBS's Jared Eggleston is on the scene in Georgia, and he joins us now with the very latest. Jared, tell us what you see. What happened this morning?
Norah, good afternoon. Out here on the scene right now, it's still very active, a very chaotic scene. Within the last few minutes, even another life flight helicopter landed here on the property of the school that you can see just over my shoulder. Now, parents here on the scene, they swarmed here. As I got here, there were cars in about every mile, about a mile radius around the school, with parents just leaving their cars on the side of the road so that they could rush to the school to be reunified with their students. Now, I've been talking with some of the parents as I've been out here over the last half hour or so, and a lot of them are just anxiously awaiting the return of their students. And as you mentioned, Norah, the school is working on reunifying the students and their families right now.
Jared, can you describe how many ambulances were on the scene? How many of those life flight helicopters have you seen?
I've seen at least two circling the school since I got here. And like I said, one of them actually landed. I would say at least 30 to 50 ambulances are here on the scene. They're still here on the scene right now. Some of them have started to leave even just as we've been talking, Norah. But there's a lot of ambulances here and a lot of police responses as well. As I was coming here, there's one highway that will get you to the school. It was constantly more first responders, more ambulances, more police coming to the school to assist with that response.
And Jared, describe the area for us.
This is a rural area outside of Atlanta. If you're familiar with Georgia, it is in between Atlanta and Athens, where the University of Georgia is. This is one of the growing community around Atlanta, one of the bigger areas where a lot of people are moving out in the suburbs. So it is rural, but it is still very big, a very big suburb of Atlanta. And as you said, Norah, this is also a very big, one of the bigger high schools in the county.
How long have parents been able to come and pick up their students? When did the lockdown end?
The lockdown ended about, I would say, a half hour, 45 minutes ago. Right when I got on the scene was when the school district actually made a release saying that an incident did happen here at this school and that parents would then be able to be reunified with their students. And as I've been standing here, the police keep directing the families towards that scene where they want everyone to kind of meet that reunification point. But a lot of people, as you know, Norah, are just so nervous about what has happened here right now. So that has led to some of the chaos that we're still seeing here on the scene.
CBS's Jared Eggleston on the scene, this developing situation. Just to repeat, one suspect in custody at this hour. There are casualties, and as Jared described, dozens, in his words, of ambulances were on the scene, including those helicopters, to help with some of those casualties. Want to bring in now our CBS News law enforcement expert, Rodney Harrison. He is a former police commissioner from the New York City area. And Rodney, now that this suspect is in custody, what are the next steps for law enforcement?
Yeah, so we have to take a closer look at our subject and identify, is he a lone wolf? Is he involved with somebody else? Was he put up to this? Also, we have to take a look at the other local schools and make sure that those schools are evacuated as well. So we have to find out what was the motive, what caused this individual to be involved with this active shooter and do such a horrible incident, but also make sure that the surrounding schools are safe going forward. And that's important regarding getting kids out of the schools, evacuating those schools, and getting them home safely to their families.
Mm-hmm. And Rodney, this has become all too common in America, these school shootings. What is the profile of a school shooter like this?
It's unfortunate that these school shooters come in different forms and fashion and different sizes and different shapes. Listen, it could be anything from someone being bullied at school to somebody that just wants to use this as a platform to get a message across. So there is no cookie-cutter way of looking at anybody that does this act of violence, but I will say this is important, that all local law enforcement work with their local school districts to make sure that they have things in place because these incidents are happening too often.
Our CBS News law enforcement expert, Rodney Harrison, thank you very much. And just to update, one suspect in custody after authorities received a report of an active shooting at Apalachee High School, which is about 45 miles northeast of Atlanta. The school went into lockdown. Number of ambulances and helicopters on the scene to transport casualties to local hospitals. At this hour, according to the local sheriff's office, parents are allowed to come pick up their kids. Our coverage will continue on CBS News 24/7, your local news. And then tonight, we will have a full wrap-up on the CBS Evening News. This has been a CBS News special report. I'm Norah O'Donnell in New York.